Welcome to the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe high net worth individuals and their professional teams shouldn't struggle to find great options for deferring capital gains taxes. Don't let your failure to plan become your plan to fail, especially when the Deferred Sales Trust may be one of the best ways for you to exit your highly appreciated assets, continue to defer those capital gains taxes so you can continue to grow your wealth. You are not in the wrong place. I am Jessica Lanning. I am filling in for Brett Swarts today. Each episode, we are joined by some of the leading wealth advisors, business and real estate experts, and leadership specialists to share ideas, tell their deal stories, and share their inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferral strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. Our next guest has created a platform to make investing accessible, transparent, engaging, and easier. He's from the greater Cleveland area, although you'll find out not originally. He's a former banker with experience in virtual banking and mergers and acquisitions work. He's looking to help new investors build a dream team of folks who can help them make investment decisions. We're going to hear all about that. Please welcome Axel Thibon to the podcast. Welcome, Axel. Good to have you here.
Hello, everyone.
Very
and
good.
Thanks for hosting me today.
Please tell us a little bit more about your story and tell us about your current focus.
Yes, and as you mentioned before, I'm living in Cleveland now, but not from here because you hear my strange and French accent. So originally from France, not a finance person either by training, being a mechanical engineer, but after a few years being a mechanical engineer and also struggling with my own investing because of my background that was not in finance. I came to the US, did an MBA at MIT, and switched to banking. And so that's when I started learning the ropes and also worked as the head of strategy for a couple of institutions, build and launch from scratch a little digital bank, and after that decided that I can now build a solution that is answering my earliest frustration as an engineer and not a finance guy to be able to invest. So that's the story behind myself and why now I'm working on this nice project named Wisest.
Very nice. So we believe, I just want our listeners to get to know you a little bit better. And we believe here at the Capital Gains Tax podcast that everybody comes to the planet with a gift that we are here to share to make other people's lives better. Some people consider this their superpower or their unique ability. What's yours?
I think that as I mentioned my story, I just found the answer because I had my first frustration with investing I would say 15 to 20 years ago. So I would say I never give up. I will find a solution. and
very nice.
Here I am.
So we're going to talk today, or today's topic is really about how do you work with people to make things easier, and what do we do as professionals or people who are helping guide other people, get them educated so they can make good decisions in their lives. So talk to us a little bit more about Wisest, how you came to pull people together, what its unique place is in the marketplace. Talk to us.
Yes, no problem. And I would just go from the journey that investors may have and that would lead naturally to what we are offering now, because at the end of the day I see today three main solutions for investors. There is the DIY approach where people do everything by themselves with some e-trading platforms, for example. There is the do it for me approach where it's more a passive approach where you have someone or a robot that is doing everything for you and you don't want to hear what is happening with your money. And there is the more collaborative approach, the do it with me approach, where people are working with advisors, institutions to help them in a more collaborative way to do so. But this last aspect, which is the one I found the most interesting, as some flows today. Sometimes it could be very expensive. And also, when you work with a financial advisor or a specific institution, you cannot choose who you work with. So it's having all your eggs in one basket and no choice. So that's looking at this perspective and this landscape where I decided to say, let's bring a solution with Wisest. And what Wisest is bringing to the market is the fact that when you come into our platform, you are guided in function of your profile and the plan you have for your investments. And we are like offering you like different experts that you can work with, and you can work with several experts at the same time. So you're not limited to be in one relationship, I would say exclusive relationship. You can have like a team of experts working for you, and as a result, you will replicate these like the different strategy of these different experts that will invest on your behalf. And so that's make like the offering of Wisest quite unique, offering more diversification for the investor, and also a way for the people that are not yet sure about what is their preference to be able to test and see what is like the best fit for them.
And so talk to us a little bit about how, who are you attracting, in terms of customer base? What makes them not want to choose a Robinhood or a Wealth Builder or a Betterfront or, Wealthfront or Betterment or any of those? Like what are they frustrated with, and what are they looking to Wisest for?
Yes, so a good question here, and I think that when I think about all the names you just mentioned, all these names, there is no human touch, and I think that the money is still like a very emotional topic. People like to have like human validation and human confirmation with like their financial planner, with their financial advisor, and like in like this robo advising platform or self-directed trading platform, none of that is existing, and so that's why like. I think people are interested with this like approach where there is like this human layer and they use human touch, like Wisest. And what we see with our user base, which is quite interesting, is like when you look at this, I would say, more traditional digital tools that exist in the market, 75% of clients or customers are males. When we look at Wisest, having this human layer and this more collaborative approach, we have like a perfect 50-50 split. So we are much more inclusive from a gender perspective, which is quite interesting. And at the end of the day, like a reflection of the stereotypes that we have in mind about like how men are and how women are. So.
That's so interesting. Did you set out when you built Wisest to attract more women, or did it just happen that way?
I think it just happened that way. I was basically answering my own personal frustration with investing, but through the journey, I found out that like I was not alone, and that the way of working with Wisest, which is like when you want to go and learn to play tennis, it's better to learn with someone that knows than to play with people that don't know. And so like this approach that I applied with Wisest is something that is working very well for everyone.
Excellent. And so what's your response to somebody who says, oh, come on, you don't need any of that. Indexed investing works for 90% of the people. What's your response to that?
I would say it's a for certain people it works perfectly. Like people that like this passive approach about investing, like index investing is going to be working like the market goes, and normally historically the market always goes up. So it's easy and safe, and I don't have to worry about my money. So that works for people that have a certain personality. If you have a type of personality that is like, I want to understand what is happening with my money. I want to be able to participate into the process of deciding, choosing, and I want to see what is happening in terms of transparency, because a lot of time, like some mutual funds and some robo advising platforms are like black box. So for these people that wants to have like a more engaged, I would say, experience. This is what they have to do, and not just trust blindly, because they won't be comfortable and won't be happy with that.
Got it. And how are you? So, the people that are coming on board, they know enough that they don't want to do index investing, let's say, and maybe they want to buy a house someday, or they want to buy a business someday, or whatever that might be. Are you helping them also with that planning aspect?
So this is something that we are not. What we say to our users is like to start investing, you need first to understand your own situation and have a plan. And it's where, like I would say, the financial planning side of things could help them. And then we are the investing side, the investing portion. But like I think there is other institutions that would be better to build like the financial planning overall for them.
Got it. And how do you do the education? Like, this industry is so complicated, right?
Mhm.
Mutual funds, what the heck is that? What, ETFs, what the heck is the difference? What is a REIT anyway, right? And why should I even have those in my portfolio? So how is the platform going to help educate those folks?
And that's also like we found, I think, a nice formula, because again we are leveraging this human layer that we have with like all these like experts that are like I would say sharing their portfolio, their strategies, and that people are following and replicating, to have them also to explain what they do. So we have like these experts like in a regular way, like explaining what is happening in the market, explaining the exact I would say strategies that they have, telling also like giving basics, like as you mentioned before, what is a REIT, what is like an option, all these concepts, and also obviously explaining their moves. So it's like today I'm gonna modify my portfolio to remove this holding and replace by this other holding because of this and this reason. And so as a follower of this expert, you receive all this information, uh, uh, and and you are much more engaged, because as you are following and you are, I would say, allocating part of your money to work with this expert, uh, you are learning what is happening with your money, which is more interesting and live. So you don't have to wait for the quarterly report from your bank, and you don't have to go and learn by yourself with like a 500-page book about investing. It's very personalized, and I think very engaging, because it's happening live, and it's what is happening with your money. So you're engaged as a user.
And how are you attracting those folks who are the experts?
Yes, so the experts like obviously they have some incentives to be in the platform, and like for them it's very easy. Like most of them are like independent advisors that have their one woman or one man shop. Others are like people that were advisor before but switch career or retire, but that still is their passion, and so they want to share that again. And others are like coming from institutions that are partnering with us, because Wisest is not only offered as a B2C solution, but also like through partnerships to offer Wisest through other institutions. And through these people are like typically like as I said, like independent financial advisors that have like a lot of experience. So we vet them one by one. We even have like some that are like the head of like private banking in a small bank. The other one is like the head of discretionary investing for another institution. So people with a lot of experience. So to make sure that we have the right people on board. And then, yes, they get the compensation for the value they bring to the platform. And here we try to align incentives, meaning that it's not about like getting like just an AUM fee, uh, because if anything happen, good or bad, you still get your fee, which do not like motivate you to do a good job. So the way Wisest works is like you are compensated in function of the number of users that are following your strategy. Then we are using three levers to adjust the final compensation. One is like the level of AUMs to see if it's above or below the average of the platform. Then the level of risk of the portfolio or the strategy that you are sharing. So the higher the level of risk, the lower the compensation, because we want to make sure the experts are finding the best strategy between risk and return. And then the last aspect is like the reviews, like any other platform today or any social media platform today. We use this like feedback from the users to say, hey, if this expert is an expert that is like communicating very well, interacting with the followers, explaining things about investing, then you're going to give him like 5 stars. And if he gets 5 stars, he's going to get more salary than the one that has the 4 stars. So that's the magic of like how things come together.
Got it. And so is the end user, the person that's on the Wisest platform, are they paying a fee?
Yes, so and again, like it's very different from what exists today in the market. We are like following like the Netflix model, meaning that to be able to benefit from Wisest, it's a subscription, it's a monthly subscription. So we have like two flavors, like the one at I would say $10 a month, and the one at $20 a month, and that's it. Then you can like have your access to Wisest, follow experts, learn from them, allocate money to follow their strategies, and you have access to all the bells and whistles.
Got it. And talk to me a little bit about, when things start to get complicated. Look, here at the Capital Gains Tax podcast, we're looking for deferral of capital gains taxes, which is kind of a complicated concept, right, for people. So how do you encourage people to, your experts to make things easy? I mean, some people get so ingrained in what they do and they're really good at what they do that sometimes they lose sight of the fact that not everybody understands everything they know. So how do you get them to do it? How do you get them to make it easy?
Yeah, I would say that the first thing that we say and we communicate is like investing is not something that is like for experts in finance. It should be accessible for everyone, and with all the strategies and the model that I explained before, it's our way to make it more accessible and easy, and to allow anyone to grow wealth and anyone at some point to be able to work on like selling assets, tax optimizations, all that. Should be the goal for everyone. And that's like what we encourage at the end of the day. It's very simple. It's like look at your situation, make a plan, and then when you have a plan, come to Wisest or to another solution to make your plan to go to your plan in action, and then from there, like do not, I would say, get nervous. You have to be consistent, persistent, and we like to say like and chill out. And then over time, normally, if like history is always repeating itself, things will go well, and you will be able to achieve like the goals you have, and that's like the way we convey the message.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Plan first. Money's just a tool. The tool is to make the plan work, right? And investing can be hard, particularly this year. We're here in November of 2022. It's been a rough year, both for stocks and bonds. Inflation, everything else that's going on. And the hardest part about investing in harder times is sticking in there and realizing that there's opportunities here and things are on sale. I swear to God, I feel like stocks are the only things that go on sale that nobody wants to buy. It's the craziest thing when this is, the opportunity. And I know here at, the Capital Gains Tax podcast and Capital Gains Tax Solutions is really what I'm thinking about, the company and Brett Swarts. I'm a financial planner and, trying to educate people about their options, trying to educate people about the consequences of their choices, trying to help people understand how they can leverage different strategies and do things that are going to, benefit them financially in the long run. Does take some education and some understanding, but once people get their arms around it, it's actually really successful. And yeah, you stick in it for a little while, it's all going to come out most of the time pretty well. I often say, who early and often, slow and steady, that wins the race almost every time.
Sure.
Okay, are you ready for the lightning round of questions?
And let's go.
Okay. Tell me your favorite book that you've read or gifted in the past year.
So that's my favorite book. Is something that is pretty consistent. Is like the name the perfume from Suskin.
And what's it about? Why should we go read it?
It's about like it's in the 19th century when like the perfume industry was just like starting to grow a lot, and it's a very like science fiction book from the 19th century. So it's very different from what you are used to, and tells also a lot about like society and like human relationships. So it's a very interesting book.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Tell us your favorite leadership quote or a theme that you strive to live by.
And it's like what I've been saying like just a few minutes ago, which is like and because it's like what we're saying a lot is like with the current economic situation, is like have a plan and chill out.
Excellent. Okay, imagine you could go back in time. What would you tell your 18-year-old self or your 25-year-old self? Pick whatever age you want.
I would tell him like don't be so I would say closed to one specific topic. It's always good to be learning a lot of different things, and like I lived that, and like I was able to change that like through the years, opening myself and not being just like an engineer, but having like a more broader perspective on the world, and that allowed me to now to be able to build a company and to build Wisest, which I think it's great. So I would say like do it a little bit faster and earlier, but like that would be great.
So what are you most curious about right now?
Now, what I'm curious about is to see how, as we are launching our solution with Wisest, is like to see how the market is going to react, how the users are gonna come, and what's going to be the feedback, and how we're going to be able to adapt to their needs and their requests. So that's like now it's like we are in launching mode, so it's like I'm like full 100% in it, and I'm eager to get the what people are going to say and think. So.
So you've had, I mean, look, you've had success in your career so far. So, what is the one habit that you try to practice daily or weekly, which helps you to stay centered in your values and keeps you moving forward on your goals?
Aha. But I would say living in the US and being from another country, from France, it's also like always keeping like a little moment every week or even every day, just like, hey, I'm here, where I am from, what are the different perspectives in life that I can see from my different, I would say, heritages, and that like to keep me centered and not going like nuts in one direction or the other direction. and it's something that I see that is like always like baffling me, is like there is a lot of great things happening here. There is a lot of great things happening in other places, but we never look at what is happening on the other places. I think like sharing and looking at what are the best practices that are like everywhere. It's very important. And that's the thing that I'm like always thinking about, and allow me to disconnect a little bit with my day-to-day like Wisest project.
Very nice. Well, thank you for so much for being on the show. I want to encourage you to keep using your gifts and strengths to be a blessing and help to others. Look, keep showing up. That stick-to-itiveness, that persistent, gift that you have. Like I've got that too. And some days you just keep showing up. So listen, for our listeners who want to get in touch with you, what's the best place for people to find you?
Yeah, I would say it's very easy. Like just visit our website, like wisest.com, so WIZEST, and then like there is like some contact info there. We have also like all our social media channels where people can follow us. So it's, I would say it's very easy, and like in a few days, the app will also show up in the App Store, so like in the Google Play Store. So the best way I would say now is like to go into the website, sign up into the waiting list to get informed on what is happening with us, because in a few days everything will come to fruition, and everybody will be able to start enjoying and trying Wisest.
Excellent. So WIZEST.com. I want to make sure everybody got the Z in there. Absolutely. Well, that wraps up the show. I want to thank you, the listener, for listening to another episode of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast. Again, we believe high net worth individuals and their professional teams shouldn't have to struggle to find great options for deferring capital gains taxes. Don't let your failure to plan become your plan to fail, especially when the Deferred Sales Trust may be one of the best ways for you to exit your highly appreciated assets and continue to defer capital gains so you can continue to grow your wealth. Remember, please rate, review, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.